everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lainey. Thank you so much for stopping by today. In today's video we have the eyeshadow palette Tag. This was created by Samantha March and Allie Glines here on YouTube, so thank you very much for creating this tag. And the premise of it is just a bunch of different prompts and you talk about your eyeshadow palettes. I don't have the largest collection. I have I think 20 or 22 palettes, so some of these are going to double up on the prompts, but yeah, I'm just going to take you through my palettes. I have the tag up here and my palettes are behind me back there, and I am going to just go through the prompts. My hair is very large today, very large and in charge, but you know, it's getting warm out, it's getting big, and I also am due for a haircut, but obviously I can't get a haircut, which is totally fine. My hair just really needs a thinning out, so it's very large. Anyway, we're just gonna get started. Before we do, please remember to hit that subscribe button so you never miss another video from me. So the first prompt is show your newest palette, and that would be the Colorpop Mulan palette. I got this through Ulta because I originally had a Colourpop order, then quarantine happened, the shutdown happened in California, decided I didn't want to wait that long, and then this popped up on Ulta. So yeah, this is really, I mean, it's boring. It's not the most exciting palette, but Mulan's my favorite. I love that movie so much. I really hope one day we can see the live action version of it. It's really cool. It's got a couple warm tones, but it leans on the cool tone side. None of these are pressed glitters. They are the foiled formula, so there's some regular metallics, but there are a couple, like I think it's this one, this one, this one, and that one. Those are the foiled formula. The only one that you're not supposed to put on your eyes is this gold one. Yeah, I haven't gotten a whole lot of use out of it. I have done a few looks, I would say maybe 4 or 5. And it's a really nice neutral palette with a pop of gold and a pop of red. I don't have a whole lot of cool tone stuff, so this is actually a good addition to my collection. And as you'll see throughout this tag, I don't have a whole lot of neutral palettes, like true neutral palettes. So I do think this was a good addition to my collection. Plus I love Mulan, so it's kind of like, woo, like a good, I don't know. Woo, what? I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. The next one is show your oldest palette, and I have decluttered it a little bit like before I had my channel, but I didn't have a whole lot of palettes prior to really getting into makeup over the last 5 years. And so my oldest one is my Kat Von D Shade and Light eyeshadow palette. Obviously now the brand is called KVD Vegan Beauty. I got this about 5 years ago when I started my very first internship, and this is, I loved it for the time because it had your like true neutral section, you have your cool tones, and you have your warm tones. So I obviously hit pan on this shade. I am someone who likes to set my eyelid before I go in with color, so I use that shade a lot. I also have a decent dip in this warm tone shade up here. I don't use it a whole lot anymore. It's something I would like to get more use out of, especially because it is getting old, but it actually still performs really, really beautifully. And it's kind of good when you just need a companion piece, like some companion neutrals to maybe some more colorful palettes. So I am glad I have it. Yeah, I definitely stopped reaching for it when the whole, like, you know, it came out that Kat Von D was an awful person. But now I've been reaching for it a little more. I don't have any brow products right now. And so I've been using these 2 shades right here, this red and brown, and mixing them together and filling in my brows a little bit. So yeah, I have been getting a little bit of use out of this, but not too much. And then the next prompt is show us your most expensive palette. And for me, that is my Moonspell palette from Lunar Beauty. It's very reflective, and this was worth every single penny. I love this palette so much. It's beautiful. I keep the packaging. This packaging is just gorgeous and witchy and beautiful. I love it so much. I don't care for the gold on the inside, but that's not really a big deal. The colors are great. I love that you have this grungy section up here with like the greens and the blues. You have like this more neutral section and then more pinky purple section down here. So I feel like you can get a variety of looks with this palette. I think it was a wonderful color story, a wonderful concept. I'm really intrigued to, you know, try more from Lunar Beauty. Whenever, you know, Manny MUA releases more products with his brand, but I love it, and I have gotten a good chunk of use out of it. The shade Prue is a beautiful purple duochrome. The only shade I don't really like is this Nancy shade up here, which I know a lot of people say they don't like it. I forget how much this is. I think it's like $56, but I think I got it on 10% off on the VIB sale from Sephora, so yeah, that is my most expensive palette. Like a lot of people, my most inexpensive palette is the e.l.f. Bite Size Eyeshadow Quad. This is Hot Jalapeno. I've only used this like twice, and the shimmers kind of have a little bit of hard pan. I don't know if you can see. I know there's a lot of hype around e.l.f.'s eyeshadow formula right now, but I don't think it's worth the hype. I don't think it's that good. I would have returned this had it not been, well, it's $3, and then I had like a 20% off your total purchase, so it came out to like $2.50, I think. I wish I didn't get this because I do, and I'll talk about it in a little bit. I have the e.l.f. Earth and Ocean palette, and if you can see, there are 3 shades that are basically the same in both palettes, so I didn't get this, but it was also only $2.50, so I think I might, I don't know if I can donate this because of the hard pan, but I might see if I can donate this to Project Beauty Share or something, because I just don't like it, and I have it in the e.l.f. Earth and Ocean palette. But yeah, that's my most inexpensive palette. For my everyday palette, I don't really have one I would call my everyday palette because I do rotate through my palettes quite frequently, but I decided to go with my Yes Please palette. It's so dirty. Whenever I show this in a video, I'm like, oh my god, I'm sorry, it's so dirty, but it is. This is my everyday palette because if I don't know what kind of makeup look I want to go with, this is the palette I reach for. I can do a neutral look, I can do an orangey look, a yellowy look, a red look, a goldish look. Like, I just feel like I can get a good variety of looks out of this palette. I've been panning it a little bit. I hit big cocktails naturally, and then I have this yellow shade that I hit pan on my Roulette Pan Collab, and then I just added Buttercake and Spoil to my Roulette Pan Collab. So trying to get more use out of it. I'm also trying to pan full zip. We had a nice dip going on there. So yeah, I would consider this to be my most, or my everyday palette. So the next prompt is my most colorful palette, and I only have one rainbow palette, and that is the Beige Take Me to, or what is it called? And so that is my BH Cosmetics Take Me Back to Brazil palette. This is a rainbow palette. I bought it because I didn't have a lot of palettes at the time, and I wanted something rainbowy and had a lot of colors in it, so I went with this. It's fine. I don't use it very much at all. I do want to maybe throw it in a project pan or something and get some use on it. That is my most colorful palette. The next prompt is your smallest palette, and once again, that would be the e.l.f. Bite Size palette in Hot Jalapeno. Can't get much smaller than this, although Amy Loves Makeup had one in her video that was smaller than this, but for me, it's this. Going back up for the next prompt, the largest palette in my collection, that would be the Take Me Back to Brazil palette. It is just not only in shades, but size, it also wins for the largest palette in my collection. The next prompt is show the palette with the best memory. I don't really associate memories with eyeshadow palettes, so I wasn't really sure what to pick, but I decided to go with this one. It is the Strawberry Shake palette from Colorpop. I never had this on my wish list. Yeah, my boyfriend got me this for my birthday or our anniversary, I can't remember. So that's why I picked this one, the Strawberry Shake palette from Colorpop. So the next prompt is an eyeshadow palette that is worth the hype, and I wanted to pick something that I hadn't already talked about, and so ultimately I ended up going with the Dream Street palette from Colorpop. This was my first Colorpop eyeshadow purchase. I picked this because it is definitely hyped up. A lot of people have it. I have 2 pans in these 2 shades. A lot of people love this palette, and I picked it why it's worth the hype because you can just get so many looks out of it. You have the blues, you have the browns, you have that pop of pink, the rose gold and copper. You can really like use this for every day for work, but you can also use it for like doing something a little bit more dramatic for going out at night. So yeah, the Dream Street palette is definitely worth the hype. I don't think it's available anymore, unfortunately. So as I hinted earlier in the video, the next prompt is show a palette not worth the hype, and that would be the e.l.f. Earth and Ocean palette. it's fine. Like, it's not the worst thing I've ever used, but it's certainly not the best, not to be shady. I love the color story. It's beautiful. The formula just needs some work. I like to think I'm good at eyeshadow. I feel like I'm good at blending. I feel like I can make an eyeshadow look good. I find that these are really hard to blend, especially the blues, which I know a lot of blues can be hard to blend, but when you have something like I'm going to talk about a little bit later, the Blue Moon palette from Colourpop, this just doesn't even compare. This side is fine. I wish there were more greens. The two like kind of like glittery shades, the blue one and the silver, are really chunky and dry. And yeah, overall I just think it's mediocre. Like I said, hard to blend, not super pigmented. The shimmers are okay, but not the best shimmers I've ever used. So yeah, I got this for Christmas. It's fine. I'll use it, and I do. It's my shop, my stash right now, but it's definitely not something, I'm really just not interested in trying e.l.f. makeup products again. Or not makeup products. I love e.l.f., but not their eyeshadows. I'm never gonna really try an eyeshadow palette from them again, I don't think. Maybe I'll try a bite-sized palette, maybe something that's like a more easy to nail color, but I don't feel like I need any right now. The next prompt is show your favorite palette from your favorite brand, and I decided to go with Blue Moon from Colourpop. This is what I'm wearing today, excluding the shimmer. That's a Davina shade. It's just so pretty. Like, I love everything about this palette. I love the packaging. Well, I wish it was cardboard, but I love like the design of the palette. I love the name. I love the shade names. I love the shades. It's just beautiful. I love it so much, and they're flawless blues. They're so easy to work with. I could go on and on and on and on about this palette, and I'm panning a couple shades in a few projects, so yeah, I love this palette so much, and it's just my go-to blue palette. And lastly, we have my most used palette, which is definitely my Anastasia Modern Renaissance. I got this shortly after I got the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. I am currently trying to pan this for 2020, and I'm starting to get there. This side has always been pretty good. I'm almost done with Golden Ochre. I only have a few more shades to actually hit pan on, which is super exciting. The formula is not super great anymore, which is pretty unfortunate. But yeah, I've just been pulling this out when I need a supplemental shade. This was my go-to palette for a couple years. But it's just getting old. The formula isn't super great, and yeah, if you watch my what is this included in? If you watch my project pan, for my year-long project pan, you guys would know I am trying to hit pan in every shade, and then a few shades I am trying to finish completely, and then I'm probably going to get rid of it just because it's old, it's not performing. I would rather open my collection up for new palettes and get, you know, have like non-expired makeup in it. So yeah, that's my most used palette. Alright everyone, those were the prompts. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you guys have done this tag. I would love to check it out down below, or if you just want to rate what your prompts are, what palettes you would give to those prompts, let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe and leave a comment if you like, and I will see you guys in the next one.